Welcome to Art and Faith. This will be, I hope, the first of a series of meditations on various images drawn from the history of Christian art. Art and Faith, kind of a lame title. I could have called it Faith and Art. Whatever. We'll see how this plays out. And I hope to choose images that address us, have a word for us in this present crisis, something that will help us kind of understand, something that will strengthen us to live through what is, for most of us, an unprecedented time, something we've never ever experienced in our lives. Many human beings have lived through worse things, and who knows what kind of sorrows and grief each person bears, but this is our crisis, and we are trying to live it and work through it somehow together. So I'll choose images then that have something to say to us, or I'll choose images that are relevant to the liturgical season that we're living through as Catholics. At the moment, it's the season of Lent, and soon Holy Week and Easter will be upon us. So my name is Father Thomas Trottier, and I'm a priest of the Oratory of St. Philip Neri here in Toronto. And this is being broadcast on our YouTube channel. So if you want to subscribe to the channel, that would be great. If we get 1,000 subscribers, then we can begin to live stream our masses, which I'm sure some of you would enjoy. Now, the first image I've chosen is, in fact, two images. Two images contained in one field. The first is an image of Noah in his ark, and the second is an image of the three young men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, in the burning fiery furnace, a story that's told for us in the book of the prophet Daniel. The images are on the face of a sarcophagus, and a sarcophagus is a place where a dead body would be laid, and this particular sarcophagus was found in one of the catacombs outside of Rome on the Via Appia, one of the roads leading into Rome, and it dates from the early 4th century and is currently found in the Vatican Museums in Vatican City in Rome. I'll show you the image in a minute. It is a relief sculpture. So it's a relief sculpture that's on the face of the catacomb. And this was a very kind of prominent place for early Christians to place works of art, images from our faith drawn normally from the scriptures that spoke to them and had some relevance and meaning to them. So I'll show you the image first of all, and I hope we can get perhaps I just want to fold it here so I can maneuver it better. And kind of haven't quite figured out yet how to eliminate all the glare. But this, to give you an image of the whole, this is the face of the sarcophagus. It's probably about 6 feet long, maybe 3 feet high, I don't quite know. And you can see two images. On your left, there is Noah, and Noah has his arms extended, and he's reaching out to receive the dove that brings the olive branch, indicating that the time of the flood is over and that the waters are now receding. Perhaps I'll give you a little bit closer so you can get a glimpse of the dove. I hope that works. Strangely, Noah is in a box. His ark is a kind of box-like structure. It's reduced to a bare minimum. His wife isn't there. None of his children are there. There are no animals there. The ark was, in early Christian art, was almost always depicted as a kind of box, and that's because of one of the peculiarities of the Greek language. The Bible of the early Christians was the Septuagint, and the Septuagint was the Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible. And in Greek, the word that was used for the Ark of the Covenant and Noah's Ark could also mean a kind of box. So in art, you get somewhat amusingly kind of Noah's box. The second image is of the three young men in the burning fiery furnace, and they have their hands in a position that's called the orans posture, or the praying posture, and that can have several different meanings in early Christian art depending on the context. Here I think it's, as I'll discuss later, a kind of ecstatic joy in the deliverance that God is bringing them. The three young men were Hebrews, but they worked in the court of King Nebuchadnezzar, and thus they have these strange Persian costumes on, the kind of Persian hat and the kind of short skirted kind of garment. Now, first of all, I want you to notice the quality of the workmanship of this image. This was built by a craftsman, someone whose job it was to perhaps churn these things out, but he was a real craftsman. He has a consistent sense of style. It's very beautifully carved. There's a great deal of kind of emotion and drama shown in the image. So if you look at the expression of kind of wonder on the face of the young man stoking the furnace, you can get a sense of the kind of emotion that the artist, that the craftsman hoped to convey. So a very kind of beautiful kind of sense of style. And even you can see, perhaps you can't quite see it here, but he's even kind of figured the kind of smoke that rises above the fire. So you can see certain kind of engravings or indentations there that I think indicate the smoke that's rising from the fire. So a beautiful, very finely crafted work of art. And I'd like to meditate a little bit on the significance of this work of art.